Hello, welcome to Shop Talk. Just kidding. This is the new MS241C from Steel. I figured I would do a Saw King style review here, just for those of you who are not going to get a chance to make it to the get-together and run this thing in person. This is the smallest of their Pro Saws with a back handle, except for the MS201, which is really a top handle saw with just a back handle tacked on. But anyway, this is a great little ground saw for doing small tops or small branches and things like that. I must say, I have a 261C, and the handling on this little 241 being a little bit lighter, having the smaller bar on it, it is just fantastic compared to my 261 for small, work. I couldn't tell you on power. I really haven't had it in big wood. I would imagine it has slightly less power than my 261. But I just used it in 6 to 8 inch branches, and it really did a nice job taking apart that tree. I'll go through the features on this saw here a little bit. A couple things. This is for the $550 to $560 price tag on these. I will say there's nothing on this saw that feels cheap or half done, or anything they kind of rushed through or anything like that. This seems like it's a pretty well thought out machine, and some really nice high quality features on this thing. It's 42 cc's, has this removable top cover. I'll pop that off. These are quarter turn captive screws, so I take that off. I don't have to worry about losing the screws or having them roll off my bench into the garbage can, which happens more than I'd like to admit. But now you have good access to most of the serviceable points on the saw. You have access to your spark plug, cylinder fins to clean them out, blow them out, and your air filter. And you also have access to your decompression valve, ignition switch, some of the wiring, and your carburetor back here, which is, are all areas that you might have to service as the saw ages. Really a nice feature on most of their smaller Pro saws, that you have good access to the top end like that. Now, this air filter, I think I've talked about or posted about this quite a bit before. This is a fantastic step up from their previous generation. This is an HD2 style air filter. This air filter is on several of their saws now, including the MS251 and the 261. This air filter has a rubber sealing lip on the inside here. It is easy on, easy off. It's less than a quarter turn and it pops right off of there. And even on my 261, which I have a fair amount of runtime on it now, inside of this air filter, there is no extra sawdust or anything in there that would shorten the life of your engine. Really just an excellent air filter system for these smaller saws. Definitely a step up from what they had before. Easy on, easy off. These air filters are very easy to service. You can blow them out, tap them out. Very easy to service. Pop that back on. I'm going to cover on here real quick. Those are a quarter turn, and they lock right down, and that covers on there nice and secure. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in here with a little bit that I forgot during the main review. In case you didn't know, this is an M-Tronic saw. What that means is it's an electronically adjusted carburetor. The saw self-tunes as you're running it, so no more carburetor adjustments. Doesn't matter whether it's 9 degrees or 90 degrees outside, the saw is going to be adjusting itself for those conditions without you having to worry about it. The throttle response on these is excellent, and it just makes sure the saw is running at maximum power all the time. Only a 42 cc saw that they do include a decompression valve. It's not absolutely necessary on these little engines, but it does make these little high compression motors easier to start. and smooths out that pull a little bit, along with this elastic start handle. Now this is something that I like to have on just about every machine I have, regardless of engine size. These elastic start handles really smooth out that pull when you're starting these engines, and it's just one of those things you don't realize how big a difference it makes until you have one and you try it out for a while. This is a steel, so of course you have the flippy caps. These are the quick release caps I like. They pop out. They made a much needed improvement with the line here to tell you when the cap is aligned and ready to go, so that you're not trying to flip it back down with the cap only partially in. So now you know the cap is positively locked and down. Same thing on the bar oil reservoir. Spring-based AV on the saw. We're starting to see the rubber AV mounts go away on most of the new saw models from most of the manufacturers. This is actually a very, very smooth running saw to run. I was quite impressed. You know, it really was a pleasure running this little saw for the 15-20 minutes that I did. Spin this around here. Some of you might have noticed already that this is a mini mount bar, the 3005 mount as opposed to the 3003 mount on the bigger saws. Only one bar nut and stud on this. Pop that off here for you real quick. And this saw, pretty nice. It's a magnesium case. It is a professional grade saw. One bar stud in the case, and this is a spur sprocket on here, which is not a huge deal to me anyway, because I would not be making frequent sprocket changes on this saw. This saw really does well with this Pico Super 3 chain that's on here from the factory. Some of you have seen my previous video. This chain outcuts just about every other chain Steel puts on these saws in factory form anyway. Especially on the 40 to 50 cc saws, this is really a nice chain to run. A very fast cutting chain. I have a nice robust chain catcher on there. That's surprisingly beefy on a saw this size. And also a nice bucking spike here on the front. Not the stamped sheet metal spike that's come through on some of their saws lately. This is actually a nice looking, good functioning spike. Got a functioning chain brake, of course. One thing on the front of these, I noticed they changed the plugs for the muffler screws. They're not quite as easy to get out of there anymore, but they do clean up the look of the front of that muffler a little bit. As always on some of their newer saws, these are stainless mufflers that will not rust. They actually get a nice patina to them as they go through several heat cycles. And we have a plastic clutch cover here, also with a captive bar nut. Real nice, because the bar nut will not fall out of the cover or fall off the cover, and you will have a hard time losing that under the leaves and the sawdust, you know, in the woods. One thing I did notice, and not that I would do it on a saw this size, but there is no option on this cover to mount a second spike on the outside. There is no option for an outside falling spike. I'm going to reassemble the saw here real quick. Set that on there. Now, say what you like, some of the Husky guys are very big fans of outboard clutches. I'm very happy that there is a nice handling small saw, professional grade small saw available with an inboard clutch that is much easier to change that bar and chain out on, or if you happen to get that bar pinched, you have the ability to remove that bar and chain and get the power head out of the way before you make another cut, either with a backup saw or another bar and chain on this power head. Captive bar more nuts right there ready to go. We have a through the side chain tensioner right here through the side cover, just like most of the steels I've had for years now. Makes it quick and easy. Tighten that chain up. And that's it. We're ready to go cut wood again with it. Just a really nice handling, lightweight, small saw for steel, designed for ground use, or homeowner that doesn't need a big saw but wants a very high quality, high performing saw. Take care, guys. Hope to see you all this weekend at the get together. Those of you that can't make it will be missed, but check out the live feed that Swags is going to put up for us, and you can be there with us in spirit. Take care, everybody.